Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of At Home with Jen. And today the topic is around marketing for solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, mompreneurs, whatever, business owners, whatever you want to call it. What do we do during these times? Is it appropriate to sell? How do we get our messages across with like internal changes and the changes we're making around our businesses? And do we continue to invest in marketing? I went to my dear friend and colleague of 16 years. We have been working side by side together. She is the force behind my brands, LeClaire, Startup to Success. She does all my work behind the scenes in terms of newsletters and websites, and is such a guiding force that I thought, who could I go to? Well, Rebecca, of course. So she's going to share her insights on things that entrepreneurs can be asking themselves and things we can be doing during these difficult times. So stay tuned. Welcome. I'm so excited to have you today, my dear friend and colleague of 16 years. Oh my goodness. You hold the longest in my business life than anyone. You've been there since day one, and I welcome you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today. It's just a pleasure to be a part of this after watching some episodes.
Oh, and I so appreciate that. And for everyone to know, Rebecca is the one that's putting everything together for At Home at Jen behind the scenes. So thank you for all of your talents. And that leads me to, why don't you share a little bit about you and your community and what you do?
Sure. So I own a media marketing and consulting agency, and I serve small to medium-sized businesses and solopreneurs, mompreneurs as well. And then I, out of that, also serve a community of women who either are entrepreneurs or are aspiring to be entrepreneurs to try to better their lives, and just try to be there as a resource and help point people in the right direction.
And I love that you have created that hub of community, because it is so important. And especially now as we're going through unsettled times as mompreneurs, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, to be able to have a community to go to be able to speak freely or look for guidance is just so important right now.
Yeah, it really is, because, we're all isolated in our homes with our children, many of us trying to teach school and run our businesses all at the same time. And it can feel really lonely and overwhelming. And, I think when you realize that you're in the same boat as everybody else, you give yourself a break.
And this woman deserves a break. Can you share a little bit about your personal life and your children, if you don't mind? Because it's so inspiring how you manage everything that you do. And being an entrepreneur for so long, 15, 16 years now, with, drum roll,
6 kids.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, we just have made it work through the years. I think my kids growing up with mom running her own business from home. Now I'm a single mom, and it's just the way that our life works. They learn when mom needs to work and I need things quiet. And but I also try to make them a part of it and share my wins, my losses. They just have grown along with the business. So it's a lot of fun. And, not to say that right now it's not very challenging. I have a kindergartner that I'm trying to teach kindergarten and run my business at the same time. So
Wow, that's incredible.
I just have to be okay with not winning at everything right now.
Well, I was sharing with my own social PR clients that now is the time where we're getting messy. And I actually was on a call and I shook my hair everywhere, and we're getting messy, and people are appreciating, Rebecca, that, if one of your children came in during a recording, people have this newfound, thankfully, compassion or empathy to that. And they're actually finding that to be in a way of further connecting, because it's so honest and it's so really what we're dealing with right now. You know, we were both talking about, oh, I have the headphones in to try to keep the house quiet and the dog, and I'm in a basement with the washer and dryer. And you were talking about like keeping the kids quiet. Like that's just our newfound reality. But
Right. I've been texting my kids upstairs, like, okay, everyone has to be quiet.
that's so great. That's so great. And when we were talking off camera, you mentioned a key word that has taken over COVID-19. So in addition to the word COVID-19,
Right.
the word has been pivot.
Pivot.
So let's talk to me and our community about what pivot means to you and how you've adopted that into your mentality to be able to continue to help mompreneurs, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs during these really challenging times where I think, unfortunately, I just read the stat today that now there are 26 million people out of work in the United States. Last time I did a conference call was last Friday, webinar, it was at 22 million. We've gone up 4 million in 1 week. So thankfully we are having our rapport and our community and our connection, but the reality is all of us are affected by this. It doesn't matter if you're a brand new entrepreneur or a seasoned entrepreneur. We're now at a whole new level of viewing our businesses and looking at ways to keep them sustainable and of value right now. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's interesting because before all of this happened, I started to do research on what makes an entrepreneur have longevity in their business. What are the key characteristics of people that, you know, can go through hard times over and over again and still keep the business going? And the reality is, if you're in business for 15 years, you know, we both know you're going to have really hard times, and it will be maybe mistakes you made and hopefully you learn from them and keep going, or it can be things completely out of your control. Right. And you know, what makes an entrepreneur keep going when that happens, when they should just give up? It just looks impossible. And right now, everybody is experiencing something that's completely out of their control. Mm-hmm. In a way, it puts us all on the same footing. You know, it's the playing field has been evened right now, and you could look at it as an opportunity, right? It's the same for everyone, any small business. So as far as the pivoting goes, how are you going to distinguish yourself now from everybody else? Because we will come out of it, you know. And so what can you be doing right now to change your business to make it work from home and to reach people? And then what can you do when we come out of it to take off? So those are the things that I would be encouraging entrepreneurs to be thinking about, which is very hard to do when you're stressed out and you're worried that this is it and this is the end. But it's so important that you clear your mind, do whatever you need to do to be able to clear your mind of that stress. And part of that is turning off the TV. Yes. It's important to be in the know about, okay, what loans are available now, what can I apply to? But you don't need that running all day long. You need to take care of yourself, whatever it is for you. For me, it's yoga. Mm-hmm. Yoga, probably about a year before I got divorced. And I'd say, I don't know how I'd have gotten through all that stress without yoga and really starting to take care of myself and eating right. Get yourself in a place of peace. And then you can start to think creatively. Yes. And spend that time. I think sometimes we think, well, if I'm just thinking, I'm not working, and we feel guilty about taking time for ourselves and just thinking. But thinking and planning is part of your work, especially as a business owner. So, you know, plan time to think creatively And, it's amazing how people are changing their businesses to work for them. One thing that we probably have all heard of is how the distilleries are making hand sanitizer, and things like
Brilliant,
that.
right? Being
Yeah,
messy, thinking outside the box. And I love
right.
how you shared, I'm saying, take a breath. And a lot of my guests that have been on are actually teaching different ways of breathing, because we all, when we get stressed, we breathe up here, and we're not breathing, folks. We're all up here. And I can find myself throughout the day, especially as the days get on, um, where it gets really tense here. And I'm like, okay, like I don't have any energy anymore. And to understand the difference between, one of my pet peeve words, Rebecca, is busy and busyness. And
Hmm.
that, I think you hit the nail on the head when you shared that for whatever reason in society, we feel if we are busy, that is like a check mark.
Right.
But there is a front stage, what I call, of work, and a backstage of work. And the front stage is the end result that we see on social media or television or radio. But the beauty happens and the blossoming happens in the backstage of things. So it's taking that time to work backstage and get that clarity right now.
Right.
I love that your yoga and your movement. Every day I'm doing my PIO. I'm certified in something called PIO, and it's been my saving grace, because I'm in a basement. I'm grateful I'm in a basement. I'm grateful I'm with my mom, but I don't even have workout shoes with me right now. So the fitness trainer doesn't have workout shoes, but PIO can be done barefoot, and it doesn't take a lot of space, and it gets me grounded and ready for the day. So it's finding those self-care modalities that really resonate with you,
Mhm.
getting that breath, getting calm so you can work backstage. And
Right.
you're backstage, you've created something quite beautiful, pivoting in your own sense for your work. So can you share what you've created?
Oh, sure. Thank you. So, I normally, with my local clients, I'm meeting them face to face. But I've always had clients, throughout Canada, all over the United States, and very used to the video meeting and things like that. But one thing that I noticed happening is just, everyone is so worried about what's going to happen with their budgets. Some immediately lost income. Some are seeing how is it going to go over the next few months. And so one of the first things that people cut in their business when things look bad is marketing.
Mhm.
And boy, you do not want to stop marketing right now.
No, no, not at all.
Now is not the time to stop marketing. People are going to think you're out of business, and whether or not you are operating normally in business, you're going to want to be in business when this is done. And so you have to be communicating with your audience. But because people feel they can't afford marketing, what I've done is created what I'm calling the STS Marketing Academy, which is an online marketing course which teaches the business owner how to do the marketing themselves, but also do it while they learn and learn the strategy of it. So that's how I pivoted.
That's excellent. It's so needed right now, because you are right. In fact, a fun little story to all of this is that yesterday there was my mom had a taste for a donut, and there is a Instagram donut shop here, and we haven't been going out, but they had online that you could order, and then you could do pickup, like with limited contact. So I went online, I ordered. We're going to call you in 15 minutes for your credit card. So to alleviate cash. So, okay, 15 minutes goes by, time goes by. We're like, So we call, we're not available to take your call. Like, okay, well, understanding it's topsy-turvy world right now. Well, wait, we never, we never got a call. We never got the donuts, which shares with me, okay, you needed to market and pivot. If you change what you're sharing to the world online, like, again, going back to empathy and compassion, that things are topsy-turvy, but utilizing and understanding the importance of proper marketing right now, i.e.
Right.
what you have in terms of guidance to ensure that there are people still out there that want to buy your product. There are still people that are trying to reach you. And if you're not reachable, you know, compassion, empathy goes so far, but you know what? There's another donut shop the other way. Really, there is. So,
right. And that is a beautiful example of that. You know, if people don't know, that you're going to lose them to your competition. And I liked what you said earlier about the frontwards and the backwards part of what you're putting out. You know, the outcome is what shows up on your social media and your website, but it goes back to that thoughtfulness where if you're just putting things out there, but you haven't backed up with the strategy of how you're going to implement it, you know, that's where it goes back to, you need to take the time to think through this. There needs to be strategy. And as a business owner, have empathy for who you're trying to serve. How are they feeling right now? They're craving donuts. You know?
sugar people.
They tapped into your craving the donuts, but then, yeah. So you have to think through the whole thing with strategy and empathy. That I like that you mentioned empathy, because that is one of the core, it's core to how I believe people need to market.
And I'm glad you're bringing that up.
How their audience.
I had a company reach out to me last night. And it's something that I truly believe in and think would be awesome. And one of the first things they were leading with is, could you share this link for people to buy? That was the lead. And I said, I can't share a link for people to buy when I haven't even shared the experience or the education or the honesty around the product. So for you bringing back up empathy, we need to really understand empathy and the sensitivity. Will people buy this amazing product? Yes. I personally have purchased clothing during this. I mean, and knock on wood, I am grateful that I've been able to do that, or online for my grocery or pharmacy items, because I've been afraid and concerned because of health issues to go out. Very grateful. So we need to not assume, we need to understand that there are people that will continue to purchase, but we have to do it with intelligence in terms of how we approach them, in my opinion.
Well, and that's something that I think people are really struggling with right now is, you know, when I say you need to be marketing, don't stop marketing, I think that people are tenuous because they feel like, well, how is that going to be taken? If I'm out there trying to sell and people are worried about their money, like, do I look selfish? Do I look opportunistic? And that's where you pivot maybe in what you're offering. You definitely, hopefully it's not a pivot. Hopefully you always are sensitive to how people are feeling, you know, and, you know, in what I look at with what is happening in marketing right now, organic views are down, ad views are down, organic hits to your website are down, you know. But the one thing that is working and is working better than before, in my opinion, is email marketing. And why is that? It's because you're making a connection with people. It's more one-on-one. Now, emails aren't going to get opened if you have, you know, an insensitive title.
Right. So it comes back to the
Anything
marketing.
that we need to be putting out there needs to be sensitive. It needs to be positive, hopeful, acknowledging what people are going through, but also giving hope. If you can find a way to offer things packed in that, people are not going to find you insensitive.
I love that, because I look at it as, now's not the time to sell. Now is the time to serve.
Right.
So we're serving.
Say if you're a business that you can't charge for what you do, you know, maybe you want a discount, maybe you want to be generous, but the economy's not going to get back on its feet if people don't keep it going, right?
Right.
So as far as a business goes, you still got to sell the donuts. You can't give them away for free type of thing. I think it's harder for people who are consultants and coaches.
Yes.
That's what we do. We serve people, we help people. And in a time like this, we know there's so much that we can give, and so you have to decide, what am I going to do? How am I going to serve
and sell? Yeah.
And sell.
I call it sensitivity pricing is what I'm sharing with my clients. So serving in terms of a free consultation, serving in terms of this video series, hoping to help people in various disciplines as we're all at home wondering. My tag I was thinking was, if you're thinking it, I'm asking it right now.
Right.
I hope that I'm asking it. But then also you are doing a disservice if you have something to serve that does need to have a monetary value around it, that you need to share that in the world, because we need that. We need what so many people have right now. So to understand that it's muddled, but with experts such as yourself, you can get guidance and be directed in the proper way.
Right.
Any last tips that you can share?
I would say, well, one thing I was thinking about today is that, along with what we were talking about with how do I market in this environment, what do I say? And if you think about it, there's words that we're hearing all the time: unprecedented, difficult times. I don't know if you could think of some more, but you're hearing those words all the time, right? And when words are used constantly, they become noise and they lose meaning. So one exercise that I would encourage people to do right now is to write down those words and think of different ways to say them.
Oh, I love that.
If you can actually come up with phrases that are more empathetic and connect with emotion and communicate the same thing. And you put that in your marketing, you're going to really connect with people.
Wow, that's an excellent, excellent tip. That's so great. Thank you for that.
Sure.
And where can people find you in terms of social media? And are you doing any kind of complimentary consultations at this point in time?
I am, actually. I will do a complimentary consultation with any entrepreneur that, wants to maybe brainstorm what should they be doing with their business right now. You can find me in a few places. One, the Marketing Academy, is stsmarketingacademy.com. And my agency website is startup2successmc.com. And you can find me on Instagram at the same, startup2successmc.
Rebecca, it's always a pleasure, really. Thank you for all that you do for today with the valuable information you shared, but also personally, you have been so cohesive throughout my 16 years of being an entrepreneur, and even to now with this series, and I thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. It's been a pleasure, and I've learned so much from you, watching your business grow and you grow, that I can only say thank you back.
Well, cheers to our next 16, my friend. Thank you. Stay safe.
Thank you.